Thank you, April. I appreciate that. Happy New Year, you. I appreciate you popping in. Hope you're doing well. Got to work the heart a little bit. I always say I'm not a big cardio person, but if we're going to work the rest of the body, we don't want to forget about the heart too, right? Because it is a muscle. So if we're going to work all the rest of our muscles, all the other muscles in our body, we can't forget about the heart. So I've been trying to up my game a little bit when it comes to the cardio. I'm not an avid runner. I don't run. So this is really the extent of it. So morning, Carissa. Hi to you. Happy New Year. Happy early New Year. Morning, Matthew. Hi to you. Hope you're doing well. Happy early New Year. So if I have to do any cardio, guys, and like I said, it's a good idea for most of us to do it, but I'm partial to the elliptical because I feel you're still moving your upper body as opposed to a treadmill where you just have your hands down at your side and just walking. So you're getting a little action with the upper body. And definitely much lower impact on the joints, ankles and knees and things like that, especially for a lot of us that are still a little overweight or a lot overweight. You want to go as low impact as you can. So carrying a lot of excess body weight, we're already putting a lot of undue stress on our joints, lower back, like I said, the knees and the ankles and things like that. So I think this is, if you have access to an elliptical, I think it's probably the best option, in my opinion. At the end of the day, if you have nothing else, walking is always going to be the go-to. You hear a lot of people arguing about, well, you should be doing HIIT training, you should be running sprints, you should be doing this way, that way. You should be doing what you're capable of doing at the time, at this right now, at the moment. What can you do? And again, if it's only a walk, if you can only get out and walk, get out and walk. If you have access to machines, like I said, I think if you're overweight, I think the elliptical is going to be the best bet. But again, everybody has their opinion of what's best. This is the best way to do it. This is the only way to do it. There's no one way. There's no best way for everybody. We don't paint everybody with a broad brush. It's what you're capable of doing, what your body will allow you to do right now. And you just progress from there. If you ever get to the point where you want to go run sprints, go run sprints. If that works for you, if it's sustainable, if you enjoy it, then you do it. Why is that, George? Why can't you work out? Let's hear it. I know it's going to be a good one. All right, George. I guess that's enough reason. I'll let you off the hook. You did, but you still have a quick wit. You're still a witty guy. Not so funny, but so guys, of late I've been kind of doing this in the morning, this cardio stuff, my elliptical, my little elliptical cardio workout. Good morning, brother. Shout out to you. Actually, good afternoon. I apologize. So I've been doing this in the morning, guys, and it definitely does give you a little bit of a boost. I would highly recommend it. Doing something, anything in the morning. A lot of people always say, well, when's the best time to work out? Well, the best time to work out is when you can do it. But something like this, uh, if you could fit this in 15, 20 minutes just to start your day, uh, it's definitely going to set the tone, without a doubt. People are always with the step counters, and I mean, it's a good idea. If that's something that motivates you, if you have a step counter and you want to hit that magic number, everybody's magic number is usually 10,000 steps. Generally speaking, that's going to equate to, obviously, everybody has a different stride, but maybe 5-ish miles a day, around 5 miles a day, 10,000 steps, and that's definitely something good to get under your belt. But something more specific, something more focused, being here and doing this for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you have. If you have a treadmill, or if you just go for a walk in the morning, again, just sets the tone for the day. Again, don't let anybody shit on your routine or tell you that what you're doing isn't the right thing, or you're not doing enough, you're not doing it the right way, or just do you. That's this whole thing of, we worry so much about what other people think, what other people say. We got to stop. Just do your own thing. Do what you're capable of. Just do something every day. And if you're doing the right thing every day, you're going to progress. You're going to get better. Uh-oh. Vegas. See? Sorry to hear that, brother. Well, hopefully what's happening in Vegas will stay in Vegas. When we get back to Cleveland, you'll be right as rain. Sorry to hear that. Happy birthday again. Well, traveler's diarrhea. I mean, did you catch a bug somewhere? Did you eat something? Hope you didn't eat any of that plain food. They don't really give you anything anyway, right? Other than that little pack of pretzels or a cookie. I drink the coffee on the plane. That usually sucks. It's usually horrible. But sorry to hear that again, brother. I hope you're on the mend. Yeah, you never know. I mean, with the diarrhea, though, a lot of times you pick something up somewhere, some kind of bacteria or something that you don't even realize, especially if you travel and you're eating out. You don't know what you're going to pick up, and it is hard. You're never going to know. But no pun intended. Hopefully, it just runs through you and you get rid of it. But that's a horrible feeling. I know. It's running. Yeah, I got that. I mean, been there, done that. Trust me. Yeah, and again, you don't know. I mean, come on. You're out and about. These restaurants, these fast food joints, or whatever, these food trucks, right? You look at New York City; they have all these little food carts all over the place, and trust me, I was there. I would line up and get those dirty water dogs and scoff those down like nothing. But God only knows. God only knows what's going on there. You know. Oh, you know what, brother? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the assault bike. Uh, I think. I think. Again, like I was just mentioning, I'm not. Out of all the machines, I'm definitely not a treadmill person. The rower serves its purpose, but I just think the elliptical for it's easy on the joints. You know what I mean? Low impact and things like that. But that assault bike, you're going to catch that upper body. You'll be pedaling your ass off. I think I got to go with an assault bike there as opposed to the Stairmaster. Yeah, definitely. Laura, how about I don't and you don't subscribe? We'll leave it at that, okay? You get one of these? I think this is a Yeti. Yeah, this is a Yeti. Some of these things don't come cheap either, some of these cups. Ronan, morning to you, brother. Yeah, that sign behind me, that was a gift. That was a gift from my daughter. I think it was last year or the year before for Christmas. Yeah, we're gonna have to turn this into a strip show. No shortage of weirdos on the internet, guys. That's for sure. No, I was in Bayonne, which is adjacent to Newark. You can see Newark actually from Bayonne. They're very close. There's a park. The town that I was born and raised in, and I worked in for 32 years, is Bayonne, Bayonne. And again, it's right adjacent to Newark. So the park, one of the parks, probably the biggest park in Bayonne, it overlooks the Newark Bay, and right across the Newark Bay is Port Newark, where they unload all the container ships. Newark Airport. You watch the planes, taking off and landing all day. So it's right there. It's a stone's throw right from Newark. So, and we had periodically throughout the years, we'd be getting hit with a lot of car thefts, and they came from Newark, and you would just have to go over the bridge, and it was a quick ride back into Newark. Actually, had a couple of high-speed pursuits with stolen cars from my town into Newark, because they would come in frequently. They would a carload of them. A few guys would come in one car, stolen, no doubt, and then they would drive around town, see what cars they wanted to grab, and then they'd wind up getting, two, three, four cars, and they'd abandon the original car and scoop back to Newark with three or four other cars. So, yeah, very close to Newark, right in that general area. Yeah, like I said, it was, it's like everything. It was like peaks and valleys, but all throughout the years, we always had, would sometimes get a little worse. Definitely in the summertime. I don't know if it was in the summertime so much. Yeah, but yeah, it was a big problem. Um, I remember one time, if you remember that movie, The Seven Ups, there was a movie called The Seven Ups, and there was a car chase, and the car goes under a tractor trailer, and it shears off the roof. And we had a pursuit one night, and they were leaving Bayonne, my town, in the direction of Newark, going right back to Newark. But they literally, it was three. They were young kids. I think one was 18, the other two might have been 17. But yeah, they were going pretty fast. Along comes a tractor trailer. They go under the tractor trailer. One poor kid got decapitated, literally decapitated, lost his head over the situation. Nothing to make a joke about, but it was pretty scary. Yeah, we did. Well, yeah, we did have a auto theft task force when we had when again throughout the years we had dependent on the funding from the government. The department I was in, we went from at one point we were up to like 250 guys, and then down as low as maybe like 180, and it would all depend. Way back in the day when Clinton was around, he was giving a lot of money to law enforcement, and that's when the advent of the whole community policing thing came. That was when Clinton was in. Um, so, but depending on the funding, and then with our scheduling that they did, it, I'm not familiar with the whole thing, but if you do certain scheduling, you could operate with less manpower. So through the years, like we went up in manpower because we were getting this windfall of money from the government, and then as that depleted, they went back down, because they were losing the funds. So when we had the extra guys, oh yeah, we had somebody on everything. We had a big community policing unit, but again, that went by the wayside as the years went on, as the money dried up. Yes, Ronan, you're exactly right. That's exactly where Chuck Wetner is from, the town I grew up in. I grew up actually, the apartment building that he lived in. We lived like 4 city blocks. I lived 4 city blocks from it, and I remember right after that fight happened. I mean, everybody knew his name, and I actually went. I was a big, I used to love Muhammad Ali. That was back in the day. Like they didn't have pay per view. Muhammad Ali, his fights would be on just like regular TV, um, like in the late '70s. But with that fight, um, that probably was on some type of whatever closed circuit TV back in the day. But anyway, right after that fight, I told this story before. I was about, what would I have been, like 12 years old, right after that happened. And I literally went up knocking and knocked on his door at his apartment building. And his wife answered, and she was really, really nice. And she said, "Oh, he's not home, but you can come back." Anyway, I literally did go back like 2 or 3 times and knocked on his door. And finally, I found him. And he gave me a picture and he signed it. I still have it somewhere, I think. But yeah. And then throughout the years, he had his own issues. He was a liquor salesman. He became a liquor salesman, Chuck Wetner. But then he got jammed up. He was actually selling drugs, and he did the prison time. But he still lives in the town. He still lives there, and throughout the years, he would be at the YMCA where I was a member. So we got, we were like on a relatively friendly basis. We would talk once in a while. But he did a lot. He did a lot for the kids, the youth leagues and stuff. But he's a great guy. He's still around. I haven't seen him in years because I don't live there. I don't live in the town anymore. But yeah, he was a really good guy. He's probably up in his 80s now. Oh yeah, Bruce Lee was all the rage back in the. I remember when I was a kid and those movies were coming out. His movies. The one with Kareem. What the hell was that? I don't remember the name. It's when he had that yellow tracksuit on. Fist of Fury and all of them. But he was big. And his book, I actually had that too. Bruce Lee's book. It was the Tao of Jeet Kune Do or something, right? If I remember the title of it. But I bought that a long time ago, and I had that. It was right next to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, which I lent out to somebody one time, and I never got it back, and I'm pissed about that. So I wish I had that back. Game of Death. I think that was the one with Kareem, right? When he fought him in that movie, that was Game of Death. Yeah, right. If you believe all the stories, that was a big bone of contention with them, that he came over here and was teaching it over here in the West. Yeah, you're right, Ronan. He was. It was all based on him. That Stallone actually took a lot of that too from. Well, what got him going with the whole story was the Wepner fight, but he took bits and pieces from other places too. I remember seeing an interview with Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was from Philadelphia, so if you remember all the Rocky movies, Rocky was based in Philadelphia. He was a southpaw, as was Joe Frazier. But the whole thing, if you remember in Rocky, he was pounding on the sides of beef, right? The sides of beef that were hanging. That was all based. That was Joe Frazier because he actually worked at some type of butcher place, or I don't think it was a meat packing plant, but something along those lines. But that's what they say, that's what Joe Frazier used to do, and some other things, some training principles. But he kind of took some ideas, from here and there. And actually, later on, Chuck Wepner did file a lawsuit against Sylvester Stallone and won. But there was some type, he was awarded I don't know how much money, but he was awarded something. And I guess there was some type of non-disclosure agreement where he couldn't really talk about it, but he did win the lawsuit. Or, it was settled somewhere along the line, and Sylvester Stallone did pay him some money. Yeah, Carl Weathers. He died not too long ago, right? Yeah, but he was in some shape. And did he play in the NFL? Carl Weathers, was he in the NFL? Or am I mixing him up with somebody else? No, I think he did, right? But all that, and if you listen to that story, the whole Rocky saga thing, how he did it, he wrote the screenplay and whatnot. And they didn't want him in the movie. They didn't want him in the movie. They wanted to get somebody else in it, and he wouldn't agree to it. So good on him. But apparently, he doesn't own the rights to those movies. The studios do now, and he's kind of bitter about it, based on some interview I saw with him some time ago. And the way who knows the real truth? But the way he spins the tale is that they somehow, there was some dirty dealings, and they kind of boxed him out. So he doesn't have any rights to any of those movies now. So, but he's still kicking. He's got. I see, like, on that Prime Video, he had a couple of movies, and he's got some kind of TV show going, and he's nearing 80, but still kicking, which is good to see. All right, brother. Is this going to be a real story? Is this like, um, oh, yeah, I don't like that. I was teasing you. Is this going to be a real story? A guy walks into a bar. Guy walks into an elevator. Yeah, I don't like that guy. You know what I mean? I won't. I've heard some of his interviews and stuff. I'm not big on it. I mean, I'm not going to say. Uh, I've seen some of his movies. He's funny, um, but I don't like his politics. I don't like his take on things. So just leave it at that. We all got the corny jokes in the arsenal. What do you think? Come on. No, Ronan, uh, I never did. When I was really young in school, we had this. It wasn't so much a boxing team, but it's more like a boxing club. We would get together and spar a little bit and stuff. And then I always had an interest in boxing. A few years back, my son and I joined the boxing gym, and we went and we would do the workouts. Just light sparring and stuff like that, and hitting the bags. Still have my speed bag here. I love to hit the speed bag. It's really cathartic doing that. Over on the other side, I have a heavy bag that I hit once in a while to de-stress. But yeah. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. Uh, you know, he's not like all these other assholes that are out there with their bullhorns and their politics and trying to force their opinions on you. I mean, at least I've never seen him do that. I don't know, maybe he has, but I haven't seen that from him. And his movies are goofy and funny enough. But yeah, to see him, he walks around like just like a regular guy. You know, um, you hear stories of him just like walking into a park and jumping in, like getting in on a pickup basketball game or something out amongst the people. So you got to admire him for that. He doesn't have his head up his ass. He's not out preaching politics and telling people how to live. He's just making his movies, making his money, and living his life, it seems. So yeah, yeah, that was a good, that was a good one. That Happy Gilmore. That was what's his name was in that too. The Price is Right guy. Uh, Bob Barker was in that too back in the day. That was a good movie. But that's what you want, right? Just like you just want to be entertained. I'm not paying you my money just to hear your politics and your woke bullshit. Keep that out of it. You know, make a movie with a lot of explosions, a lot of laughs, and whatever else bullshit. Keep your politics to yourself. I don't care about your politics. I'm certainly not going to go pay. I don't even know. I don't even know what it is to get into a movie. I honestly, guys, I haven't been to a movie theater in I'm going to say 10 years, you know, give or take, but it's right around probably 10 years that I haven't been into a movie theater. And I really don't intend on going back. Especially the more that's coming out about these people. So many of them just like out and out deviants. You read about this Epstein Island and all this other shit going on. You don't know what to believe, but between TV news and, you know, all of these these supposed, you know, these late night shows, this Jimmy Kimmel, who's a complete asshole, and the other guy, Colbert, it's nauseating to listen to, you know. Thank you, brother. Feel better, man. I hope you get to enjoy some time there in Vegas. Like we said, right? What happens in Vegas, hopefully that's going to stay in Vegas. All right, well, that's good timing, guys, because the buzzer just went off here. So we're done with this. We're going to get on with the day. Hopefully later on we're going to hit some weighted pull-ups, some bicep curls, whatever else is going on, but we'll see. But thankfully we got some cardio in. I think you should give it a try. Like I said, it sets the tone for the day. It doesn't have to be anything real strenuous. Even if you go out for a walk, go out your door, hit a timer, walk for 10 minutes, turn around when the timer goes off and come back home. And you got yourself a nice 20-minute walk in to start the day. All right, guys, I appreciate everybody that was here. Again, we're a few days from New Year, so I wish everybody a happy, healthy New Year. Everybody get some reps in today. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.